And so yes, we've spoken a lot about why you should care about AI, the benefits and all this. Let's look at something like, what is AI, right? What is AI? AI is simply what I define as a goal of giving machines human-like or biological-like intelligence. So as I'm sitting here and I'm able to talk about a bunch of topics from my head, can we make computers, machines be able to do that as well? If we can study the universe, the cosmos, right? We can study diseases and study how to cure them. We can look at objects and determine that, okay, that car is about to hit me if I don't move out of the way. Can we give these capabilities to machines? So that is simply the goal of AI. There are different approaches to reaching that goal. One of the key ones which I belong to is what we call the connectionist movement, which you might hear things like neural networks, deep learning, and all that. It refers to the same thing basically. So what we do is we use this sort of softwares, or we use the term algorithms. We build these algorithms that are basically inspired by the human brain, loosely, in a very loose term. So we use sort of neurons in nodes, and then they are arranged in layers. And so from these layers, you're able to represent a lot of things. You're able to represent a lot of things. So if you want to learn what a human face is, if you start by learning what lines and dots are, and then you learn when you combine different shapes, rectangles, eventually you can be able to understand the human face. So all the news that you've been hearing for the past 2 to 3 years about AI is going to do this here is due to what we have been working on in called neural networks or deep learning. So it holds a lot of potentials. Healthcare, agriculture, it goes on and on, security, transportation, and so much potential. So yes, another thing you might have heard of is what they call narrow AI and AGI. So you probably have heard of someone like Stephen Hawking, and then Elon Musk going around about AI will get up one day and control the world. I mean, those statements are all pretty, they are not really the most wise things to say, because yeah, it's just fear-mongering. Everyone who actually programs AI doesn't have those fears, because we understand what we work on and then what they are capable of. In the long term, that's a whole different discussion. So narrow AI simply means that you have a system that can be trained on one task. So you give it a lot of examples. That's what we use data, right? So like we are working on, if you want to teach a system to be able to detect breast cancer, what you do is you take a lot of images of people with breast cancer, the mammograms with breast cancer, and then mammograms without breast cancer. So you show it basically to this system, this breast cancer, this is no breast cancer. You do it about thousands and sometimes even millions of examples, and it eventually figures it out. And sometimes when it figures it out, it even gets better than a human radiologist. And then that's narrow, because what it's doing is that I only understand breast cancer. That breast cancer system, as much as it can beat a human radiologist in diagnosing breast cancer, if you ask it to add 1 + 1 together, it can't. And that's one thing we human beings have. We are general intelligent beings. As you are here, you are watching this video, you can be able to respond to your friend or lover who messages you. You can be able to cook. I hope you can be able to cook. But then you can eat as well, you can bathe yourself. But then actually that leads to an interesting question where I have personally been wondering whether the human brain, right, is made up of a collective of some straightforward intelligence system, or is a combination of different intelligence systems or algorithms that come together. So that raises the question, what if we combine different AI algorithms together? That okay, this is a different model, it solves breast cancer, this is a different model, it solves this problem. So you combine it together and then you have maybe a central system to look at it and determine, should I give it to breast cancer, should I give it to this? But anyway, those are things that we worry and think about when it has to do with AI research and all that. So yes, that's basically what narrow AI is. And if you follow the point I just made, then you will sort of get what AGI is too. AGI simply means that something that is capable of handling multiple tasks, which is what we are. And so artificial general intelligence, that is something that we don't even know how to approach yet. There's some few theories out there. For those of you that are interested in the science of it, you might run. You have some theories out there of how to create AGI. You have like the Marcus Hutter AIXI. You have some guys like Jürgen Schmidhuber who believe you can use some things that are called recurrent neural networks to create them. Some people believe that once we can give common sense to artificial intelligence systems, they can be able to achieve some sort of general intelligence. So you have people working on common sense for AI, like you have a guy called Josh Tannenbaum. So yes, there are lots of theories out there, but the practical side of it, there's nothing. There's no code to prove it. So we have so many things that we need to discuss and worry about as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, but then worrying about whether they'll take over the world and make us slave is impractical. We don't even know if that will happen. It's a very hypothetical situation. So the main issues is jobs and ethical issues of bias and all those things. Those are the real situations that we need to talk about. And so yes, the only thing that is left to talk about in this video, because it's only a teaser, is that how do you get into AI? First of all, not everyone, it doesn't mean that you need to become an AI engineer just to survive the next wave of industrial revolution. That's not the point. For most people, you just need to be informed about what AI generally is, like I've done here, and then understand how whatever job you are doing, how much far away is from technology, how you can use AI system, data science, robotics to augment your work so that you become more productive and add more value to whatever place you are working, whether it's for yourself or for someone. So yes, in those scenarios, just read a bit about AI. After you hear my talk, I'm publishing an article on AI that goes in depth, making a lot of points as time goes on. Just follow the conversation, listen, that's all you need. And for those who want to get into AI, get dirty with it, there are certain courses out there. We might be organizing some workshops eventually, and then we're actually going to applied AI, how to program this and all. You can come, but then there are also some tutorials out there on YouTube. You have Udemy, Udacity. This guys organize all sorts of courses that can help you. You need to use things like Python and then frameworks, and then you can be able to get into AI if you want. We need a lot of it, but then yes, the main thing is push your representatives, whether it's your company, get to your managers, directors, and ask them, how can we ensure that our company is being more productive? Because AI has that potential. How can we ensure that? And then if you are closer to any of the government institutions, ask them, how can we make this particular institution more productive, more useful to Ghanaians by accessing things like artificial intelligence, data science as well. So yes, that's all we need to talk about. There's a lot more points that need to be made, a lot more depth that needs to be added to this. We'll cover all of that in the subsequent weeks. So yes, we'll be having an AI seminar in 2 weeks' time, right? Yeah, in 2 weeks' time. So you can show up, we'll tell you the event, and then we'll show up, and then we'll discuss it, and then you can ask your questions directly, and that should be fun. So, and next week we'll actually be having a Twitter question and answer session. So you can pop up on Twitter and then ask any question directly, and then I'll answer you, whether it's technical, related to AI, it's just in general, AI beneficial and all that. So yeah. Bye.